Welcome back to the Real Me Podcast. I just thought I'd do an audio this time. It's been a while since I've done an audio. I just felt the need to just slow down, stop. I'm going to be leaving today, so I'm doing this in the afternoon before leaving. It is currently 12:50, so I have a good amount of time before 3 o'clock before packing. So, what I wanted to talk about on this episode is just my anxiety and insecurities. And, we all have anxiety and insecurities. I mean, we all have it. We all have those things that we just don't feel particularly secure about. And I guess what's coming up is insecure, but this is the video going to transfer over to my computer. Well, it will, because the previous ones have, and it doesn't have any of that cord, so it will transfer over. All of them will transfer over. So, trusting that is the case. Although there's a part of me that wants to doubt that it will move over. Will it? Will the thing move over to my computer? Will it? Very, very frustrated at that. Anyway, I wanted to come on here to discuss my insecurities and anxieties. You're probably thinking to yourself, well, you know what? You could talk to somebody about this. You could talk to a therapist about this. Well, I have talked to someone about this. I just want to share it on this video. This is the real me, and this is what I'm currently going through in my life right now. This year has been a bumpy ride. I'm just sitting on eggshells, waiting for the next shoe to drop when a technical issue is going to happen. Technical problem's going to happen. The internet's going to go out. Something's going to fail to load. Some software issue. Some difficult kind of instance where a site is down or there's a glitch in the program. If my recording won't save on my audio files on my phone, and if my episodes on Spotify will not get published. I've had some internet issues this year recently. I mean, it started out fine, but fortunately got that fixed. The Spotify app was, really not working very, very well. It went around and around and around. When I tried to load something, it just kept spinning and spinning and spinning. I was getting really, really fed up that things were loading slowly, and so it got fixed. I do believe it has gotten fixed because I've looked at the the internet. The internet got fixed. The network got fixed. I got hooked up to something, and it's fixed now. I don't know if I have to constantly hook up to that, but the internet that I'm on now, for a while I kept saying, we need to switch over to another network, another internet, because it's just not working. It's not working. It's failing to load. Things are taking a long, long time. Subscriptions that my family got for me that there was this complicated process of having to log in again, not being able to log in, not having the right login information, having to pay again for this site, for this Discovery Plus site, having to make it very complicated because it's a separate site, it's not on Roku. And, that has been a thing. It's like, can we just, I don't deserve to be having these problems go on in my life in 2026 at this time in my life. I don't deserve to have these things going on when I'm feeling so good, when the year is going so well, and I'm in a very, very good state of being, and I'm feeling on top of the world with my podcast, with my, with my new interests, with my perspective and spark and zest for life back. The version that I was at the beginning of 2022 is back to stay this year in 2026. I've gone through the ringer the past 3 years of my life, through OCD, through depression, through regrets, through hopeless guilt over my past doings, of which I spoke about that in my episode on this podcast entitled 2019 through 2025 Brutal Years of Self-Criticism. So if you want to go back and check that episode out, you can. But things are going really, really well for me in 2026. I'm happy again. Not eating as much sugar, I think that's contributing to my happiness and well-being. I'm not eating as much sugar. I've cut down my sugar. That hospital experience I had forced me to cut down my sugar. Forced me. That's what it did. It forced me to cut back down the amount of sugar that I was eating. So I was like, wow, I have this brand new energy. I have this vitality. I have this new enthusiasm for life. I'm so excited. I'm so, all that kind of thing. So that was going on. The hospital experience, and then getting off sugar on new medication, which is helping my overall well-being. And I think astrologically, the planets are really, really activating my chart in really positive ways this year. I don't know what it is. I think Saturn is on my sun, getting close to the degree of my sun, so I'm really feeling the discipline and the get up and go, and not feeling like I'm just wanting things right now. I feel like I do have the discipline to stick it out and work for what I want, which is my podcast, which is my authenticity, what I want to say and what I want to do, and all that with my podcast going on. So Saturn is really helping. Neptune Aries is really making me more outgoing, more free to speak my mind, assert myself, speak to what's really going on, be strong and courageous within myself, and be a strong warrior individual. Neptune in Aries is certainly helping me out with that. And Chiron in Aries, or whatever. And my progressed moon in Leo, I'm much more of an animated speaker now on my videos. I'm much more open to sharing my life with you, open to want to bring up my life and start this really podcast as being my authentic self online and shining in my own light to the world, so that the world can see it on my social media. So that's what I'm doing here in this podcast. So Pluto went retrograde May, can't remember the date that Pluto went retrograde. May 5th, I think. May 6th, I think. Yeah, May 6th. Oh man, it has been bothering me so much. It has made it very, very difficult to compartmentalize a lot of this stuff. Compartmentalize my life, my anxieties, my insecurities. It has made it very, very difficult for me to do that. Very, very challenging indeed. Like, I could not compartmentalize my own insecurities and anxieties that come up when I do videos. And I can't focus on what I'm actually talking about. I can't focus on the actual video of what I'm doing. Can't be present with it. Can't enjoy it because these insecurities come up with Pluto retrograde. One of those insecurities is it started just May 7th, immediately when Pluto went retrograde. The first insecurity started when I was doing my New Moon and Taurus collective video. What if I accidentally delete the audio file of the video? So I made the video and I was insecure the whole time, trying to get past, like I'm trying to push past the insecurity, push past that insecurity, and just get through it anyway. And not have it get the better of me, not have it interfere. Trying to, and thing is, I don't want to push, I don't want to be this tight state of resistance, but I try to relax. It's like this heavy feeling that is so incredibly just, it won't go away. You cannot push it away. It stays in your system and it doesn't go away. So I had that insecurity come up. Around about May 14th, I did a video on my audio files. It was the Disliking Someone's Social Presence podcast on my Cosmic Sky. And that video actually didn't save immediately on my audio files. I clicked stop and then I didn't save it up there, but then I refreshed the app and then I saw it there. So it was really, really weird. And it was a fluke. But then, the next video that I did, which was my Mars and Taurus for the collective, I was worried that video wouldn't save on my audio file, but I knew that it was just a fluke, and so it did save on there, and then I could transfer it in. And then I just decided to vary how I do my audio recordings. I have 2 audio apps that I use now, and I use the other audio app. And when I did the Mars and Taurus video for the 12 signs, that whole video, I was insecure. For the first half of the video, from signs Aries to Cancer, I was insecure when I got to discuss those signs. Like, this thought was coming up inside of me, and it was in my head, and it was in my body, saying, what if this recording does not get transferred to my computer so that I can find it in the folder with audio files on my computer to be able to transfer it into the software that I use for my videos. Like the software that I'm using for this video right here. What if it doesn't happen? What if it doesn't work? And actually, I should preface this by saying, back in April, I did have a thing where I recorded something, a podcast episode. It didn't go to Spotify. They had a technical issue. I asked an advisor about it, and they said that we'll have it fixed and we'll have it uploaded eventually. And so eventually, hours later, it did upload. So it was really, really unfortunate. But anyway, back to this point. I was worried. And it was so hard to do that video. It was so hard to do that video. Because I was just constantly worried, like, what if this is all a waste of my breath? What if this is all a waste of my time? What if this is all a waste of my energy and I'm not going to see it on my computer? Oh my goodness. What if I don't see it on my computer? So I just couldn't just open up and freely express myself because I was just so insecure with it. I was just so insecure with that video not being able to get transferred. And so I looked it up, found that the software that I was using is actually good for MP4 files, and it actually transfer over to your computer. And there was this video converter, audio converter, which by the time the video was done, I tried, and then the video didn't get, the video was just, the audio file was a video with the picture in it, so it was a video, and the Cyberlink. That is what it was. And so I tested trying to put one of those files in from that other recording. It worked perfectly fine. It loaded really quickly, and boom. I got that video uploaded. I was feeling really guilty. Really guilty about filming that video. And, being really insecure with that video. Like it wouldn't upload. Or, it wouldn't be saved, that I just felt so bad. Anyway, it's there now, and I have no intention of doing any podcast episode on this podcast. The next video, the next day I did Saturn and Leo, my natal chart. That video was 55 minutes long. I was insecure through that video also. I was insecure through that video. Because, okay, I used this other voice audio software, and this worked. What if because I used that, then the one that I was using wouldn't work? And the video wouldn't be transferred into your computer. So I was constantly very insecure whether or not that video would get transferred into my computer. And sure enough, it did. And I could get it into the editor software and get it, loaded or whatever. So that happened. Just need to trust that this video will get transferred, that the cord just isn't broken, that it will work. Because I know that it will work. My mind is telling me, oh, what if it doesn't work? It's not going to work. But no, it will work. This insecurity is not going to get the better of me. Pluto retrograde is not going to get the better of me. Oh, and I cannot wait for Mercury retrograde. Wow, is that going to be tough for me. It's going to be starting at 16 degrees of my sun. It's going to be squaring my sun at 16 degrees to 26 degrees of Aries. It's going to come right up to my moon in Libra and square that too. So this Mercury retrograde upcoming will square my sun at 16 degrees of Aries. It will, start squaring my moon in Libra at 26 degrees of Aries. And then it'll go right back to 16 degrees of Aries, which will square my 16 degrees of Cancer, squaring my sun at 16 Aries. So, I'm not looking forward to it. Videos had better come out. The sound had better be there. The sound cannot go out with these videos that I do. Let's just hope and pray. Let us just hope and pray that that's the case. With these videos. that I do during Mercury retrograde and around the station of Mercury going retrograde. Get the videos do turn out where the sound is completely there. So I did that video, got it in, worked perfectly fine. Somebody commented saying, wow, nice amount of detail and depth. I was like, well, thank you, but that was not my best recording. And then May 17th, May 18th was fine, and then it started, May 19th. Then it really, really began. Really, really began. I posted the North Node in 5th house, South Node in 11th house video on Spotify. And what happened was, the video didn't get published on Spotify. I waited. After I posted the post on Instagram, how I do it is I prepare for the video, make the video, transfer it into Cyberlink, and do all the steps with putting the image in and putting the audio in. And then I export the video, and then I transfer it to my YouTube channel. I write a description, have it set as unlisted, proofread it, download the video. As soon as I get done doing that, I set the video up to be premiered, and then after that, what I do is with my Cosmic Sky podcast, I transfer it over to Spotify, and then just copy and paste the information, post that, then I wait, and then I post it into my community tab on my YouTube channel, then I post it on Instagram, and by that point, the episode should have loaded. Because I usually get a notification. Well, I used to get notifications for episodes getting loaded on Spotify. But that didn't happen. I was like, what's going on? And I waited all throughout my, I was like, okay, well, maybe eventually it'll get published. Or maybe I went to work that day. When I got back from work, it still didn't get published. So I had to talk to an advisor to get that episode published. So I thought, oh, well, it just happened once. It's not going to happen again. It's just a fluke. It's just I need to transfer it in, And then I did the video on Mars square Saturn in Sinistry. And there was an underlying sense inside of me like the video wouldn't get published to Spotify, but it was kind of an insecurity, but I was kind of pushing past the insecurity because I felt confident enough. And then I posted it on Spotify, and it still didn't publish. It's like I started Spotify feeling all so secure about the videos getting published on there. I felt so incredibly secure. So incredibly secure that I knew every single time it would get published until I had issues with it. In April, really May. So then we talked to it, and my advisor, my mom, was very, very helpful with that. On Spotify, the advisors are very, very helpful. They're very, very efficient. They get back to you really, really quickly, and very, very they work really, really well with you. They're on top of things, which is very, very good. I don't think that YouTube even has a way to communicate with them. But Spotify does, and thank goodness they do. Thank goodness they do. I asked them, to get the video uploaded published. And does it say, is there anything else? Well, I want to make sure that this doesn't happen again. I want to understand what's going on, and they clarified that it was an ingestion problem with the content getting ingested. It wasn't me at all. There was nothing wrong with this is the frustrating thing about this, is that it wasn't my responsibility. There was nothing wrong with my account at all. It was just Spotify's darn system that sometimes videos would struggle to process and get published into the system. It wasn't my responsibility. It was on their end and not mine. And it was so frustrating because there was nothing wrong with my account that could be fixed, and then the issue wouldn't happen again. I kind of wish that were the case, that there was something wrong with my account, that they led me through the steps to get it fixed, and then boom, I wouldn't have the issue again. But no, the account was perfectly fine. My account was perfectly fine, and they had issues on Spotify itself, on that platform itself. That's where they had, the issues. So, when they said that it's an ingestion problem, they said that they would look into it. And then I did a test video that afternoon, May 20th, the day of May 20th, Wednesday, and it worked out fine. It got published, and I got rid of it immediately afterwards. But then the next day, I was still worried that it was going to fail to get published on Spotify. So throughout that Saturn in Virgo video that I did, I was insecure again. Like I even said in the video that I'm trying to get through the insecurity of what I'm feeling right now, because it's very, very hard for me to keep these issues locked inside of me in private and quiet and not be totally open about them, not be totally secure about them. And I need to be totally secure when I do my videos. I need to be completely secure, because that's when I can really, really open myself up in videos. So, I did that video talking about the very, very things: anxiety, compulsions to do things, not feeling that it's good enough, not feeling perfect enough. I felt that there was a good segue to that. Posted the episode, and lo and behold, it did get published. Boom, that worked out. And also frustrations with my Cyberlink when I exported videos, how long they took to export. I put it on the lowest resolution. It still takes a long time, but that's just the way it is. So that's that. That's all going fine. But then the issue got fixed, and I was at my place in Mayo when I posted the Jupiter and Taurus episode. That also got published. Then I filmed a couple more episodes, and they also got published. There was one day when I couldn't access my episodes and the data from the episodes when I opened the Spotify Creators site. But I could still upload it, and it still got transferred into Spotify, so that worked. And I eventually could see it again. But then I had a problem with the Full Moon in Sagittarius Collective episode that didn't get published. And I was amazed. I was just amazed. I was just amazed because I took 2 days. I recorded it 2 days ago, and then, surely I had this problem if I posted way too many things, but no. I posted that episode and it didn't get published. And I was really, really frustrated because I put all that time and work and effort and energy and it didn't get published on Spotify. So I had to talk to an advisor about getting it published. I was really, really frustrated. I was about ready to give up on it, give up on the episode getting published, and then the advisor, reloaded the episode and watched it on Spotify. And that worked out fine. And then 2 days later, when I did the Mars conjunct Uranus and Taurus 12 signs, I had lunch and I took a break and I didn't see the episodes. I didn't see the episode listed on there. But then I asked an advisor, and they said that it was on there already. So it's like, that's weird, because I didn't see that. I didn't see that at all. But it got on there anyway. So I clarified to these advisors. I clarified to them. Saying, will this happen again? Is this a chronic issue that will keep on happening? Will every episode get published? And so one of them assured me most of the episodes, I asked, so most of the time the episodes will get published, and they said, yes, the episodes will get published. And so I was assured enough with that. Then the time that I did the Mars and Taurus, Mars conjunct Uranus and Taurus past this astrological look, which was actually exact July 2024, I asked an advisor about that, and they said that your future episodes will get published. And I remember them saying to me when I was asking them questions, not everything is going to be perfect in life, but rest assured that your future episodes will get published. I was like, well, thank you very, very much for that. And they said you can always get back in touch with us. With what we do. We can help you out. And so I said, I hope that I don't have to reach out to you all too often if I ever have to reach out to you. And that was a perfectly fine thing to say. That was not an offensive statement. It was just an honest statement of what I had to say and what I had to express with that. And what was I going to say? That I probably made them perceive me as a not real computerized person, as a very, very young, immature person through my responses. But you don't know someone through writing. That's why I don't like comments on my YouTube channel. That's why I don't like to comment in general. I don't like to comment because I don't know the person. I'm not seeing the person for, who they are. Really, how they look, how they speak, what their personality is. I'm just seeing an impaired version of them through the comments. It's not really, it's not really who they are. It's not who they are. That's why I don't like that. So, so that got clarified. And then I just think the whole time I do these episodes on, Spotify, or intend to publish them on there, it's just not fun. Because I'm in a constant state of anxiety, what if this doesn't publish? What if this doesn't publish? And I've had several coin flips and decisions made to say, all the episodes will publish. The thing is, having the truth that all the episodes will publish would be denying the actual truth of it, which is most of the time the episodes will publish. Occasionally, an episode won't get published. But then surrendering to that truth of sometimes, sometimes the episodes won't publish, was too difficult to bear and too difficult to surrender to, too difficult to accept. And so as I did these videos, I would be sitting on this insecurity, this insecurity of what will be going on with these episodes not getting published. I would be sitting on this insecurity and anxiety. Made several decisions. I wouldn't pay, then I decided that, I had, the truth about me that I would, when an episode doesn't get published, I would go to an advisor to get it published, but then I have to monitor it to make sure that it gets published, and that creates the anxiety, and then just hoping and praying that it gets published. So, when I filmed that video about the Newman and Taurus collective look, that episode, I could actually, it's very, very difficult to get rid of the videos that I filmed, so that worked out very, very nicely. But, with that episode, when I do episodes, it's like I allow myself to go to the advisors when I want to. Oh, this will work fine, but what if this doesn't get published? I'm always sitting on the anxiety. What if this doesn't get published to Spotify? What if this doesn't get published to Spotify? It's already published to YouTube, but I'm a Libra moon. I need things to be balanced. I need to be on both platforms. Well, I was attached to the need for it to be on both platforms equally. I was attached. I was very, very attached to that. So I let go of the attachment. I let go of the attachment. And I surrendered. And I was like, I don't care anymore if they get published or not. It's not worth my mental anguish or mental anxiety or worry or stress over sitting and doing an episode and worrying that it'll get published. So for the past several days since, the end of May, beginning of June, I've been just insecure. Insecure about the episodes that I filmed, whether they would get published or not. And so far, all of them since then have gotten published. Just fine. So, this, my final decision with this is that I'm not going to go to the trouble to get an advisor to get an episode published. Because that won't work for me. I will go to them when I feel that I want to. But if an episode doesn't publish on my Spotify site, then I will let it be what it is. And I won't try to go back and republish it. Most of the episodes will be there. But there may be one or two occasionally that may not get published on there. Oh well, it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. You can see it and view the episode on YouTube. It's somewhere on social media where you can view that episode. So, just know that with my other podcast, The Cosmic Sky, If you wanted to see an episode on Spotify and you don't find it there, but then you find the other episodes there, it's on my YouTube channel. It'll always, always, always be on my YouTube channel. That's where you can absolutely rely on the episodes to be there. And you can absolutely rely on all the episodes to be on Spotify. Maybe one will not be published, rarely, but they'll always be on YouTube. So I may still feel very, very insecure with this. Like, it really, really has gotten the better and eaten me up, like, my mental, like, I just feel so anxious and so, like, sitting on this insecurity when I do these videos. Of whether it's going to be published or not. But I can only be as sure and certain as I can be, and I was talking to my mom about it, and she was very, very down to earth about it, and said, that there's no certainty in anything, really. So I will surrender to that truth, but I will do what works for me. And I will not, I may go back and check it, but if an episode doesn't get published, the next one will. That I know for certain. And it will get on there, and you'll see it on there, along with most of the episodes in the podcast. But if there could be an episode that doesn't get published on there, then oh well. That's Spotify, not me. And so you'll be able to view it and watch it on my YouTube channel. So I just have to surrender to that as the best, most certain certainty I can surrender to. So anyway, I thought that I would come on here and just talk about this thing going on, this insecurity about episodes getting published in Spotify, because this is what's going on. And I will take a break because of a family thing, and I'll come back hopefully with fresh energy to do more episodes with more security, knowing that all I can rely on the episodes to be published. And if they aren't published, then oh well, they don't get published. But most of them will. So release the attachment to that. See what I can do to really, really free myself with that and liberate myself with my videos as much as I can. It'll be very, very difficult still. And you may hear a little bit of setback with me on previous episodes, but hopefully over time the insecurity will alleviate, and I will be very, very secure and very, very open, having more security and certainty with that going on. But anyway, this has been the episode of The Real Me podcast, where I discuss the real things, the real issues that are going on in my life, and what I have learned through those experiences. So, the insights from those experiences, really. So anyway, that is all that I want to talk about for now. I'm not going to plan to make another video until Friday, when I get back. Talk about Venus conjunct Jupiter in Cancer on the 9th, the collective, and for the 12 signs of my podcast. Then I'll do, I think I'm trying to see what I'll do here. Uranus square the nodes, I'll do that. Venus in Leo, and then the new moon in Gemini. I've gotten rid of the whole schedule of the weekly schedule of how I do videos, but I will always do a collective and a 12 sign right after doing the collective video. And I also want to do my moon in Libra, Saturn in Libra, and those kind of other placements. Then I'll get to Chiron in Aries, or Chiron in Taurus. I'll do some videos on that. See how those go. Hopefully I will be in a very, very secure state to do those videos then. It's just really, really hard. It's really, really hard for me right now with this. my computer battery is going down faster than usual, but it's still perfectly fine as it is. It's very hard. But oh well. Doing the best I can, trying to manage this anxiety and insecurity. Hopefully, I will not expect it. Don't expect it to just go away. Don't expect it to just go. It will probably be there. And I'm just not going to try to will it away or push it away. It's probably going to be there. But I will just keep on and push on and do what I love to do, regardless. So, I am anxious about coming back to doing an episode. And I'm just anxious that I'm going to be feeling all insecure about it again. I just have that anxiety, but I'm not going to let that stop me from making content. I don't let these things stop me. I just push forward and do new because I have a discipline to me that is remarkable right now with videos. So, so that is the truth. And that is what I will surrender to. Whatever feeling comes up, it's allowed to be there. It is allowed to be there. It is allowed to be present with me. Allowed to sit there. Allowed to be there. Allowed to have a seat at the table. It'll be there. But I don't have to give into it. I can just push forward and deliver the information that I want to deliver. So, that is all that I want to say on this very, very clear as can be, episode of the Real Me podcast. And I will see you back for another episode whenever I feel like it, whenever I get around to it. And if the episodes post on Spotify, great. If they don't, then oh well. They're on YouTube. So, Spotify is just the extra thing to YouTube. Most of my content, my YouTube channel is my main headquarters for all my content. That's where all my content is, on my YouTube channel. Every single bit of content that I produce is always going to be, all of it, on my channel. So, thank you for tuning in. I will see you back. Tune in for the Cosmic Sky podcast Thursday. We'll talk about Venus conjunct Jupiter in Cancer collective, and then the next day the 12 signs. And so, yeah. So anyway, bye for now, and I will not be able to do any episodes of any podcast tomorrow, for sure. So don't expect anything from me tomorrow. But anyway, expect, if you follow me on Instagram, for my story to be updated, as it usually is 4 times a day. And anyway, bye for now, everyone.